Hi guys, it's Brittany here, and today I wanted to do my first speed paint tutorial, and we're doing hand blushing. And the first thing you're going to need is a sealant. I use the Mr. Super Clear, but you can use the sealant of your choice. You're also going to need a mask, a NIOSH OV P95 is the best one to use, and that's very important because nothing is worth your health. And a lot of these sealants are very toxic. I'm starting off with my pastels. I use the Mangayo pastels that you can get on Amazon. And I'm starting off with a peachy tone pastel, and I'm also shaving off a little bit of pink that I'm going to use later. So in doing the hands, you basically want to darken and shade in all of the indentions and lines of the hands, all of the raised parts such as the knuckles. And here you'll see that I'm starting off doing the lower knuckles first. And then you're going to move up and do the middle knuckles and then the upper finger knuckles. Basically, any part of the finger that bends is what you're going to shade in. And then here I'm just brushing off the excess pastel. Now you may have to go over the blushing a couple of times, but I sprayed my hands twice with the MSC, and that worked really well for me. I never sprayed them again until I finished. And here I'm just going on the inside of the hands and all of the places that bend underneath the knuckle areas. And here I'm just scraping off a little bit of a darker brown pastel to go over the peach that I already used before. I like to use the different color pastels, a darker and a lighter. For me, it gives a little bit more realism to the hand when I layer the colors. But you can just use a darker pastel if you want. You don't actually have to use two different color pastels. That is just my personal preference. For me, it just adds a little bit more realism. And here again, I'm just going over the lines of the fingers and the raised parts just to give a little more depth of color. And then wiping off the excess pastel. And I'm going over it again because I'm not quite happy with the depth of color. I'm trying to be careful with how much I put on I don't want to do too much because I don't want the hand to come out looking dirty. So I want to do just enough to create the shadowing and variations that an actual hand would actually have. And again, you can use whatever pastel that you would like for your hand blushing. It's your project, so you do what makes you happy and what makes you feel good. I do prefer a darker pastel, especially when doing hand blushing, simply because I think it adds more realism and more depth. Here, I decided that I wanted to have lifelines in the hands. Now, the hands don't have lifelines already, so I'm adding my own, and I'm just kind of freestyling it until I get to the point where I like it. And I think they turned out really well. And again, I'm going over the bends in the fingers, underneath the fingers. And it's coming along. What do you think? It's getting there. At this point, I decided that I wanted her to have painted nails. It is a female hand, so I decided that I wanted her to have a peachy kind of orangey color. So I'm mixing a mustard yellow, a crimson red, and a bright white until I get that peachy, kind of orangey peachy tone that I'm looking for. And surprisingly enough, I got the color right on the first try. Now, the acrylic paint that I'm using is called My Artscape, in case anyone's interested. And I got it off of Amazon, and I want to say it was $12.99. Pretty good price, and it came with 12 different colors. I really like this color, guys. The particular doll that I'm doing the hands for is a twiggling ingenue, and her lips are the same kind of peachy orangey color, which I absolutely loved. So I'm trying to kind of play off of that. So I diluted the acrylic paint with Liquitex Flow Aid, and that's the medium that I use. Now you can use any type of medium that you want to dilute your acrylic paint. Some people just use plain old water. It just simply makes it easier to paint, especially over resin. And it gives the paint more of an ink-like consistency, but you can use whatever medium that you like. The Liquitex Flow Aid is just my personal preference. So I'm just going over each nail with one thin coat, trying to be careful not to go outside the lines. So basically it's just like painting your nails, except in a much smaller scale. So here, after the nails dried, I decided to go back in with some more blushing to add just a little more depth. So I'm going over the knuckles and all of the raised parts of the hand. And here I'm just brushing off all of the excess pastel. So here I'm adding a little bit of that pink blush that you saw me break off in the beginning of the video. I think adding just a little bit of pink to the back of the hand and to the side of the hand gives a little extra depth of realism. And now I'm just blushing the other hand to match. So what do you think? I think they're looking pretty good. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and use the Tamiya X22 clear acrylic paint in the gloss to go over the fingernail polish, giving it more shine. And I've done both hands at this stage, and I think they look really, really good. Take a look, guys. I love the lifelines on the hands. I'm so glad that I added those. And here's the other one. So I really love the way these hands turned out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video, okay? Bye, guys.